Well, good morning or good afternoon or evening wherever you are. Today you find me and Tony again over here with his camera. We're in Thetford Forest today and we're looking for the crash site and memorial of a Lancaster bomber that crashed here in 1945. We're on the right route, and when we get there we'll show you what's there and tell you a little bit about it. Well, we've arrived. We didn't get lost this time. Hope we don't get too much light glare. I'm going to spin round, and just off this little track here, if you look just over my shoulder here, is the memorial itself. It's not an official memorial. It's actually done several years back and was rededicated some years ago, where it's been actually restored. And I'll show you a little bit around it and the surrounding area and tell you a little bit about the bomber. So as we approach it, I'll tell you exactly what happened here and when it happened. And as you can see on the memorial itself, there's a little plaque which is to the memory of the crew of the bomber, which is a Lancaster bomber, registration HK773 from 15 Squadron, RAF Mildenhall. And the crash site here is near Mundford in Norfolk. You have to find a good map to get here, but once you're in the forest, you pick the right track, you'll get to it easy enough. What we're looking at here is the crater where the bomber actually crashed. It was carrying a 4,000 pound blockbuster bomb, and it crashed here on its way to a mission in Germany when it developed a fire or problem in its number one engine, its port left outer engine. The pilot tried to gain control of it and try to get a controlled landing somewhere, but unfortunately he lost control of it and it crashed here. All the 7 crew were killed immediately. And as you can see, there's still bits of debris left in the woods, in the forest. If you probably look around it in the winter time, you'll find bits of aluminium here, there and everywhere. And people who have found the bits have actually put them down on the memorial itself. So the pilot was actually trying to gain control of it when it obviously crashed here. Some parts of this aircraft can actually be found at the Aviation Museum over at Flixton, which is well worth a visit. It took off from RAF Mildenhall on its way to Bocholt in Germany at 11 AM on the 22nd of March 1945, and incidentally it was the last loss from RAF Mildenhall in World War II, which is rather tragic because it never got to its target and crashed here in England, literally a few miles away. If I could put the camera up and put it in that direction, Mildenhall is about 2 to 3 miles that way. So I'll read the names of the crew. The pilot was Warrant Officer Newton from the Royal Australian Air Force. Sergeant Church was the navigator, Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. Sergeant Cope, wireless operator, Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. Sergeant Matthews, bomb aimer, Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. Sergeant Cooley, mid-upper gunner, a Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. Sergeant Jenkins was the tail gunner, or a tail end Charlie as they used to call them, Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. And the flight engineer was Sergeant D, also from the Royal Air Force Volunteer Reserve. It's actually quite a fitting little memorial, very respectful. So I hope you enjoyed that short video about the bomber crash. I'll try and put a picture somewhere on the screen of a Lancaster in case you're not familiar with the bomber. There's also a memorial in the church at St Leonard's in Mundford, which is just up the road from here. If we get a chance, we'll have a pop in there and see what we can find in there. If you want to see more about this crew, they're actually remembered on the International Bomber Command Centre at Bourne in Lincolnshire, which we'll have to try and visit at one point, which is where they have all the names of the bomber command losses from World War II. So if you have enjoyed the video, please remember, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you want to make some comments, put them in the comment box down below and I'll try and get back to you. So once again, thanks for watching, see you on the next one.